Unit 10, inverse functions. And before I get started on the section of the homework that many students had questions about, specific to questions like this, so we are looking right now at questions 13 through 18. Before I do that, I want us to re-examine the unit circle. Remember the unit circle, you do have to have memorized. Nobody's going to provide it to you on your AP exam. So what's the quick way of doing this? I always start by counting on the top and going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to evaluate it with a square root on top. Well, I know the square root of 1 is 1. The square root of 2 and the square root of 3 are both irrational, so I leave them in that form. And I'm placing a 2 in the bottom of everything else. Now, there are on the unit circle, there are 3 other places where you can find a 30-degree measurement back to this horizontal axis. That would be at these 2 places, and then well over here. So we have 4 places. I'm going to copy and paste that into those 4 places. You'll understand why later I never put it into quadrant number 3. The same thing here. This is 45 down, 45 down, 45 up, 45 up. So I'm going to take these 2 values and put them into all the other 45-degree measurements, and then I'll do the exact same thing for 60s. From the origin to here is a distance of 1. You're not going up and down. From the origin to over here is a distance of 1. Since we're going to the left, it's a -1. And that's how we achieve 90 degrees and 270 as well. You're not going left to right, just up 1. Not going left to right, just down 1. Okay, now let's talk about how can we achieve the tangent of the 3 main angles. So remember, tangent is the same as sine over cosine. So this is at 30 degrees, also known as pi over 6. And so whenever we figure out tangent is the same as sine over cosine. A lot of students think, like, how do I memorize these? So CBS, always cosine before sine. All of these, cosine before sine. It's in alphabetical order. So I'm going to take the sine and divide it by the cosine. When I divide fractions, I'm going to flip the second fraction. So the 2's are going to simplify to 1, and I have 1 over radical 3. That's not wrong. It's just not in proper form. So I'm going to rationalize the denominator to get 1 times radical 3 is radical 3. 3 times 3 is 9, and the square root of 9 is 3. So the tangent at this position is going to be radical 3 over 3. So if that's the position here, I know down here is also radical 3 over 3, and over here is radical 3 over 3. That's for the tangents, and I'm going to circle those so they stand out and we understand what we're talking about. I'm going to come back to All-Star Trig class in just a bit to ensure that we have the proper signs on each one. Let's look at this 45-degree measurement. So again, I'm going to take the sine and divide it by the cosine. When you take the exact same value divided by itself, we get 1. So 1, 1, and 1. And lastly, let's do 60 degrees. So 60 degrees is right here, also known as pi over 3. Taking the sine and divided by the cosine, the 2's are going to be reduced down to 1, and I'm left with radical 3, or radical 3 over 1. Radical 3, and down here, radical 3. Okay, so All-Star Trig class, All-Star Trig class. All things are positive in the first quadrant. Only the sines are positive in the second. That means the tangents would be negative along with the cosines. In quadrant number 4, only the cosines are positive. So cosines are positive, but the sines are negative as well as the tangents. Now, you may be wondering, why did I not do quadrant 4? Well, let me come back in 1 second. Let me go to what I refer to as the north-south and the east-west. Let's do the tangent of these positions. So tangent would be sine over cosine. Okay, that's a 0. Sine over cosine. We can't have 0 on the bottom. That's undefined. Sine over cosine. That's 0. And down here, sine over cosine. That's undefined. Okay, so as you learned in this lesson when you watched the instructional video, as we are going to do the inverse of functions, when we find the inverse of sine, it's the same as the inverse of tangent. It can only be determined from the first and the fourth quadrant. So first and fourth. And you're thinking, why? How do they choose those two? Well, they're connected here, and we know in this position, everything's positive. Down here, only the cosines. So sines are positive, sines are negative. Here, tangents are positive, tangents are negative. And likewise for cosine. Think of it like the x values. Here the x's are positive, and here the x's are negative. All right, let's get started. So I am starting right now. Let me look right here. Okay, I want to know arc sine. So let's first look. It's only going to be in quadrants 1 or quadrant 4 that I'll find this answer. So keep that in mind. So some of you like to do this. You cross out. It's only going to be in quadrant 1 or quadrant 4. Now I need a positive sign. Well, a positive sign will occur in quadrant number 1. And now I'm looking, where's the sign equal to radical 3 over 2? Radical 3 over 2 is right here. They also wanted us to express it in terms of radians, and that's how we retrieve an answer of 1 pi over 3, or pi over 3. Let's look now at number 4. Number 4. So where's the inverse cosine? Remember, inverse cosines will only be in quadrants 1 or 2. So in quadrant 1 or 2, it's a negative value. That means it's going to be in quadrant 2, and it's a negative 1/2. Okay, cosines are negative, and here's the negative 1/2 cosine. So what is this? That's 1 over 6, 2 over 6, 3 over 6, 4 over 6. So this is 4 pi over 6, which reduces to 2 pi over 3. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. So tangent. Again, some of you like to do this. Tangents are only going to be in 1 and 3. Maybe you would have gone over here and did this one. So in 1 or 3, where are the tangents negative? Tangents are negative in quadrant 4. So this would be an answer of, we're going to drop down 45 degrees. Dropping down 45 would be negative pi over 4. Dropping down 45 degrees. Okay, signs. Signs are only going to be in 1 and 4, and it's a negative sign. That means it's going to be down here in this position. Where is the sign negative radical 2 over 2? Sign is the second one. Here's negative radical 2 over 2. Again, we're dropping down 45 degrees. Negative pi over 4, or negative 1 pi over 4. Okay, where is the cosine equal to 0? Where is the cosine equal to 0? Cosine is the very first one. Cosine is the very first one. We have it right up here. This is where cosine is equal to 0. What is this in terms of radians? Well, this is 1, 2, 3. So 3 pi over 6, which reduces to 1 pi over 2. Okay, where is the tangent? Okay, tangent is only in 1 and 4. Where is the tangent positive? Tangents are positive right here in quadrant 1. And now I'm looking for a radical 3, which is right here. What is this? This is 1, 2. So this is 2 pi over 6, which reduces to 1 pi over 3, or simply pi over 3. Hope that helps.